Welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing? If this is your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a response video owning a Tesla Model S for 3 years. What has been my experience, and has the car been getting better or worse? So this is a response to Luis, awesome subscriber. He's been very active on the channel. Basically, he says he'd like to know, well, information, a little bit of an update after me owning the car for 3 years and what I feel about it. Do I still feel the same about it? So let's kind of get over that really quick. I'm gonna try and make this a shorter video. I feel like I've been making a lot of long videos lately. For those of you who don't know, I own a Model S 2017 100D. This has been a heck of an adventure over the past 3 years. One of the best vehicles I've ever actually owned, and by far, not even in the same ballpark as the best of them. Really, realistically, it's really one of those cars that stands out. Now, 3 years ago when I got this car, I also started this channel, and I talked about it a lot back then as far as what the car is capable of doing and how the car works and what it does and doesn't do. And I can say without, any type of hesitation that this car has only gotten better. By far, it has only gotten much better as time goes on. And when I first got this car, it was definitely a lot slower as far as the 0 to 60 side, which got improved with over-the-air software updates. The other thing, I guess, one of the cool things about this is everything kind of got a little bit better. My handling got better, my braking got better, every little detail got better. When I first bought this car, I didn't have Sentry Mode. That was something that was added in later on. I guess it was probably about 6 months or 8 months after I bought the car. That's when Tesla decided to add in Sentry Mode. So Sentry Mode is an awesome little feature. The only thing I ended up doing to this car that I think really comes down to it is I have the new wheels on the car. Instead of the 19s, I have the 21-inch arachnids. And the one thing that I would kind of criticize, I guess, if you're buying a used Tesla is the MCU. MCU 1 is absolutely horrible. MCU 2 is an amazing thing. That's going to cost you a little over $2,000 Canadian. And I did that too. I have the brand new MCU 2 in my car, and that gives me access to all the games, all the, Netflix, YouTube, Twitch, all that great fun stuff. Very fast, responsive screen. Everything works like a charm. But how's my experience been over the last 3 years? Well, currently on this car, I have about 90,000 kilometers on it. So you can look at it like 30,000 kilometers a year. And I've enjoyed every second of it. I've enjoyed taking it out onto road trips. I find every excuse in the book to go on road trips with this car. Now with the borders closed, unfortunately, I can't go down to the States, but that was one of my favorite trips with my wife. And I have, basically, I don't have FSD. I have something what used to be prior to that, which is enhanced autopilot. All I'm really missing from that entire list is the city, which is actually not available here yet, which is basically autopilot in the city, where for me, it recognizes stop signs, all that stuff, but it won't stop for the stop sign, or it won't stop for the traffic light. Actually, in Canada, I don't think any of them do. That being said, I am a huge avid user of autopilot. I love using autopilot on the highways. It works like, to me, at least on this car, it works perfectly. My overall experience has been, I would say, spectacular. Any issues I had, obviously, in the 2016s, 2017s, and earlier, I guess 2018s or earlier, there was an issue with the screen yellowing and all that stuff. They did actually fix that, and then the screen got replaced again once I did the MCU upgrade, which also gave me hardware 3, and so it really worked out for me in a big picture overall. The single criticism I have is still, of course, the same little things that I've had, I guess, in the very beginning. Just the customer service obviously still isn't the greatest, but it is definitely pretty decent. I love their mobile service. They actually came out, and my driver's side headlight, for example, was yellowing a little bit. Sorry, the passenger side. I made I put in a request for it. They came out, mobile service, simply changed out my headlight. all good to go. Overall, my experience has been impeccable compared to any other vehicle manufacturer and vehicles I've ever owned. The Model S itself, this car is one of those cars that just is amazing. I love the seats in this car. I love the feel of this car. You can't get this anymore, but my car actually has something I really badly wanted, which is a fabric leather combination. Obviously, it's not real leather; it's fake leather. But I love having the fabric there. In the summer times, it really does wonders. But as far as the car goes, I really don't have any complaints. She's been one of, like I said, the best car I've ever owned, and I've owned a lot of cars. I think as a follow-up, a 3-year follow-up, one of my favorite things about this car is I can genuinely say that this car was at its worst the day I bought it. Since then, with the over-the-air updates, this car has improved dramatically. It has really gotten better. Almost, I would say every 6 months, it was a noticeable difference. And autopilot got better. Everything about the car got better. If you're thinking about, if you kind of have the option and you're looking at buying a Model S, I highly recommend the cars. The air suspension on this car is spectacular. I really love the air suspension on this. I have a number of places where I go and the roads are pretty crappy. So, I set the height. Next time I go back to that area, the car automatically, raises itself and I don't have to think about it. I leave that area, the car lowers itself. My favorite feature, one of my cool features, is I have my car set that once I reach 80 kilometers an hour, she will lower down. This is really good because once I hit the highway, basically, the car lowers down, gives me better aerodynamics. All these little things that are happening in the background is just spectacular. It really is. Having, I know with the newer Teslas coming out, the refresh Tesla Model S does have the single screen in a horizontal layout. I love the vertical layout, having the big large screen right there and then having obviously the bezel screen. I love the way that this car is made. The only thing I think a lot of people don't realize with the Model S is it doesn't have any door pockets. Now, if that's a problem for you, then I think you got bigger problems. But it is something that it doesn't have. And a lot of people kind of, later on down the road, like after they bought the car, it takes a little while before they realize it doesn't have the door pockets. And they go, well, darn. Realistically, nothing about this car really bugs me. The only thing that, like I said, in 3 years that has truly bothered me was the fact that the car did not, the MCU, right? That was the biggest problem that I personally experienced with it. The MCU was failing. Tesla is, like I said, the customer service needs a little work, but nevertheless, for the amount of money it costs to get a brand new MCU, which essentially feels like a brand new car once I did that, it was worth every penny to do that. And I'm very, very happy I did that. After 3 years of ownership, a lot of people came up to me and asked me if I would give up this car for a refreshed Model S. And I literally didn't have to think about it for a second. I just instantly came up with, no, I don't. I don't want to give this car up until, well, hopefully never. I mean, I really have no plans on giving this car up. With me, I guess in some ways I was very lucky. And I think that's really something to point out here too. I do have EAP, which is again enhanced autopilot, which is no longer an option. I also have free supercharging as long as I own this car. When we bought it, that was an option. It was one of the beginning stages. So I do have free supercharging as long as I own the car. I do have free connectivity as long as I own the car. So I really don't have to worry about anything in this car. All I have to worry about is getting in and drive to my heart's content. Ultimately, there is really almost nothing I can say that it's bad. Like I said, I literally can if I have to complain about anything, it's the MCU that was failing. MCU 1, that's no longer a problem. MCU 2, once I upgraded it, and hardware 3 and it cost me about $2,200. Frankly, it's nothing in the overall picture because it brought my car up to literally like a brand new car for 2,200 bucks. And it's not like MCU was unusable. It just, it was very laggy, right? So if you got the money, it's obviously worth doing. But yeah, I mean, Tesla Model S is definitely the way to go. It's not for everybody. And trust me, I carried 5 people in this car. You know, the 3 seats in the back, I've never had any complaints. People have always felt very comfortable. So if you have 5 people, you can easily carry 5 people in this car, easily. I carry a crap ton of tools. The trunk, the space in this car is astronomically huge. It really is. I used to have an SUV and prior to this car, and I could not fit everything that I fit in this car without folding the seats down. So honestly, it actually works really well. By the way, my SUV was a BMW. So for all of you who are asking, you know, if the Model S is a good choice, I'm going to say yes, it's a great choice. If you can afford it, I actually think the Model S is probably one of the best options because you really do get a lot for from this car. The air suspension is a lot more usable than most people would think. I use this air suspension a lot, actually. And I don't know, obviously, what it would cost, you know, if it ever breaks down on me or whatever. But that being said, there are so many areas that I really would have scraped the heck out of the car if I didn't have the air suspension. Having the air suspension really comes in handy. You'd be surprised how many places I found a way to really have to use it. 3 years, and I wouldn't give this car up. I really wouldn't. Somebody was asking me what happens, you know, if, let's say, Tesla would be offering me a trade to give this one up in trade for the new car. I actually wouldn't do it. I really would. This car, I don't know what it is about it, but I'm drawn to this car. I love this car. I enjoy this car, and to me, this car is really as part of my family as anybody in my family. Her name is Eleanor, by the way. It used to be Lucy. I changed the name Eleanor once I got the Hardware 3 and the MCU2 installed. The car just felt so much smoother, so much better, and Eleanor is a name that I use that I really have a lot of respect for. For a lot of you guys who are car guys, Eleanor might stick out to you why I'm using Eleanor. It's a very special name for me, so she got renamed Eleanor. And so yeah, that's basically the story. Once again, I keep doing these 13, 14-minute videos, so I'm going to leave it at that. But Luis, thank you so much for your comment. Thank you very much for you know, your support. I thank everybody who supports this channel. I thank all of you guys who are sharing the videos. I noticed that my videos have been shared a little bit more lately. I have also been kind of mixing it up a little bit, but I've been putting out videos for you guys what I think is useful. Just like how Luis did, he came up with an idea, he asked me a question, and here we are. I make a video for you, and that's kind of how I work with this channel anyway. I base it a lot on you. It's almost like a response video to a lot of your comments and a lot of your concerns and questions. That all being said, I'll catch you guys on the next video. And once again, thank you, Luis, for this request. And as I promised you on, well, I'll make the video, and here it is. So thank you. Everybody, please drive safe out there. Keep in mind, you are the driver. When you're behind the wheel, you're 100% responsible. And whatever you do, don't do what Consumer Reports did. Don't trick the system. The safety things are in place for a reason. Be safe out there. Drive safe, everyone. Till next time. See ya.